Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about what I did this week. This video was not the video that I thought I would be doing, but on Sunday I went to my garden and my garlic and onions were ready to pick. And the garden waits for no one, so I had to change gears. And this is what I have for a video this week, how I took care of my onions and garlic. And by the way, it's still an ongoing process. I've got a few notes and I'm just gonna go over those. So as I said, I wasn't planning on doing this one, but I was really happy with my harvest for my garden, my onions and garlic. The garlic is good size and I was really surprised at that. Some of them died this year when I planted them. Some of them died and I was surprised at that. So I thought, well, maybe I'm not going to get a great crop, but my gosh, they look fantastic. The onion crop, some of them are small. There was a handful of decent sized ones. A lot of them were quite small, but that's okay. I got a pile of them, so I'm happy with the amount that I got. What I'm going to do with them is I don't store them fresh like that. So I don't need to cure them, because when you cure them, they get that skin on the outside and that helps them to stay preserved, fresh for longer. I don't do that. I chop mine up really fine with my food processor and I freeze them in Ziploc bags. And I'm hoping I get 2 Ziploc bags. We'll see. We'll see in next week's video. Anyway, that's how I do my onions and garlic. Garlic, I probably will keep, I will keep it, in the fresh state. We will cure it and I'll store it until usually January. And then in January, I usually take care of my garlic. I grind it up, actually. I make it into a pulp. And then I dehydrate it and make a garlic powder, or mostly what I do is I grind it up and then take a little ice cream scoop, a little scooper, and I put it in approximate 1 clove blobs and on a cookie sheet, and I freeze them that way, and that's how I have my garlic. So anyway, I am going to let the garlic cure, but I'm going to continue on and do the, what I do with the onions is I put them through my food processor, I put them out on a cookie sheet, and I cover them very well with tin foil, and I put them in the freezer, and then I give it 24 hours, and then I take them out and put them in a bag. You've got to cover them really well when you put them in the freezer, otherwise your freezer is going to stink like onions. Everything in it is going to smell, and you cannot get that smell out. Anyway, I thought I would, you're going to see in the video that I took my green onion tops, and I dehydrated them, and I made onion powder out of them. You'll see this in the video. Look at this, how much this onion powder is. This I bought at my local store. It was $5.99. It's about that same amount. And I mean, I go through a lot of onion powder, so I'll go through more than one in a year. So this won't be a year of onion powder, but look, it's gonna go, I would say, 3 to 6 months. And that's $5.99 I saved. So anyway, I thought that was a really good amount, and I would have thrown them away. I always have just thrown those out, but this year I decided to be frugal. Okay, and in this video you're going to see that I also, this is what I was planning on doing, was the bone broth. I save all my bones and keep them in the freezer, and then they were piling up in the freezer. I had bags of bones, and I save skin and fat and all that stuff from chicken. And the bags were piling up in the freezer. And I also had a bunch of chicken with bone in. And I wanted to cook those up, so I'd have those bones to make the broth with as well. So in this video, you're gonna see that I cook up the chicken, debone it all, take those bones and mix it with the ones I had in the freezer. I probably had 5 bags of bones in the freezer that I put in the cooker and made some broth. And that's another thing. I got 10 quarts of broth from stuff that you would have thrown away. Bones and skin and stuff like that. How much would that have cost had you, how much would that have cost had you had to buy it? One thing I wanted to mention was this year, our weather has been really weird. That's why I didn't expect to pick my garlic and onions. I'm in a zone 3, and I usually cut my garlic scapes the end of June, and I picked the garlic the end of July. Well, it's July 15th today, so we're like 2 weeks early, but they were ready to go. They were getting all dried up. When you have three of the bottom leaves dried up and ready to go, that means they're ready to pick. So they were ready to pick. So anyway, that's why it kind of caught me off guard. But anyway, I'm glad that I've got that done, and I'm working on that. That's one thing I don't have to worry about. Next week, in next week's video, I'm going to finish up my onions and the garlic, and we'll see what else comes up. I don't know what else I'll have in the garden. I'm thinking about going to, I planted green beans, but they did not come up. And so I do like to have canned green beans throughout the winter, and I do want to. Now it's green bean season. There's an Amish vegetable stand, not that close to me, really. It's about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes from me, but it's phenomenal, you guys. It's huge. They have a ton, beautiful vegetables, decent price, not bad. And they had a big old box of green beans last time I went, so I may go there today, get the green beans so I can can them for the winter. If I don't get them now, I'm going to be out because green bean season is almost done. So I'm going to stop talking and let you see the rest of the video. But I just wanted to say that if you guys want to know the systems that I use in my home to keep my home going, I do have an Etsy shop, a printable Etsy shop, and I'm going to link it down below. It's called A Seasoned Homemaker, just like my channel, and I'm going to link that down in the description. So enjoy the video. So this is where my bone broth begins. I just put all the chicken and chicken parts out of my freezer, and I put them all in my roaster. I've got them roasting up tonight. I will debone them and take all of the bones and skin and use it for my broth that I'm gonna make tomorrow. And so I'm out at my garden, and here's my empty garlic and onion bed. I picked them all, and here they are in my car. I'm gonna take them home and cure them at home. It's a pretty good, the garlic is surprisingly huge. It's a pretty good pile of onions too. So, okay, so I'm back home, and here is all of my onions and garlic. I've put out a tarp, and I'm putting them out to cure. So there it all is. I pretty much am happy with my crop this year. There's quite a few small onions, but gosh, the garlic is huge. There's a few small ones, but for the most part, they're really good size. So I'm really happy with this. I really don't have a place other than my apartment to dry these things, to cure them. I do have a shed on my property, but it's kind of overtaken with hornets and wasps, and I really didn't want to take the time to set this up, and I just didn't want to be in there with all those winged stingy things. So anyway, here's my onion and garlic crop. Okay guys, so at this point I have cut all the green tops off of my onions. There are the onions right there in the middle. I'm going to continue to let those cure, and I'm going to take the green tops of the onions. I'm going to go through and take off anything dried and not good, and I'm going to take the green ones, the rest, the green parts, and I'm going to dehydrate them so I can make some green onion powder. Okay, so here are the tops of the onions, the green part of the onions. I've got them all cut up and ready to go into the dehydrator, but I have to work for the next 3 hours, so I'm going to put them in the fridge while I work, and then when I'm done, I will put them in the dehydrator. You guys, I filled every single one of my dehydrator trays, and then some. I had to really pile them on there to fit them all on. So now they're going to go, going to dehydrate at least overnight. I'm thinking maybe 24 hours because there's so many of them and they're so thickly in there. But I will let you know when they're all dehydrated. All right, so here are my green onions. I'm all done work and I'm ready to put them on my dehydrator trays. Okay, chicken is completely cooked and I'm getting ready to debone it and put it in the freezer. Okay guys, chicken is all deboned. This is how much I got. And this is what's ready to make some broth tomorrow morning. I'm just gonna take this whole cooker and put it in my refrigerator overnight. And then tomorrow I am going to start, I'll put some more bones in there from my freezer. And I will start to cook broth all day long. Okay guys, thank you. Good morning everyone. Well, today is canning stock day, canning broth. So I've got my pressure canner out, warming with the jars in it now. Here is the finished broth. It's gonna be a whole day of canning, I'm sure, I'm certain. And so I'm getting ready and I will take you along with the canning of the chicken broth. And so here are the green onion tops that I dehydrated, all crispy and crunchy now. So I'm gonna grind those up with my coffee grinder and make onion powder. Okay, so I've got my first batch of 5 quarts of chicken broth in the canner, going away. This is what I've got left of my, the broth that's in the cooker. What I did the first batch that's in there now, I took 1 quart at a time and I used a ladle to ladle out with a strainer on top of the quart. I did not like that method. It was very, very messy and it took longer because I had to wait for the broth to strain out of the bones. So this is the first time I've used this cooker. It's brand new, so I've never done it this way. And so what I'm doing now, while the first batch is in the canner, I'm gonna strain all that's in there using a bigger pot. I'm straining the bones. That way I can have that messy job done and cleaned up by the time the next one gets ready to go in. And what I'll do is I will take the broth, once I strain it from here, and I'll put it back in the cooker to keep it warm while I'm doing the canning process. So anyway, that's my plan. All right guys, so I got all of the broth strained and that's what's left, waiting to be canned. What a messy, greasy job that was. And my first batch of broth is just about done. It's cooling down right now, so I gotta wait for it to cool. And look at this. This is what I got from the green onion tops. Green onion powder. And so that'll be nice to use throughout the year. I still have left all the onions to cut up and the garlic is curing. I'm gonna start cutting up the onions today. Even though they haven't cured, I don't ever store onions like this fresh. I usually cut them up and put them in the freezer right away. So I'm gonna start that project today and I'm just gonna leave the garlic there to continue to cure because I do store that, whole and fresh like that. Well guys, here is my progress for today. I gotta say, I'm really surprised. I only got 10 quarts of chicken broth because that was a 22 quart cooker that I got, and I really thought I would get more than that. I used to use, if I can do this without making you dizzy, that big stainless steel pot up there. When I use that to make chicken broth with, I would get 13 quarts. And so I thought with this 22 quart cooker, I thought I'd get a lot more than that. It's beautiful broth and it came out beautiful. But just surprised that I didn't get as much. And there's my onion powder. Didn't get any onions cut up today, but we'll continue on with that and I'll get some more done this week. But anyway, this is my progress for the week and I hope you guys have a great day and thanks for watching.